Hello everyone. Thank you for your interest in the video. I'm just going to get straight into it. Hope everyone is well. I ended off in my first video down here with recent event. I left off with the twin flame and the karmic's involvement into this stalking and harassment, and their parts into it. The lead stalker, narcopath, who has created this scenario in my life. I detach from it, and I honestly do not want to talk about this. Like I said, the narcissist keeps people hostage into having to respond, and I did receive a few concern requests as to telling my story, so that's why I'm here. Now, before I get into the twin flame and karmic timeline at my last job, I want to go back up here from 2005 to 2011. Now, at the time, I don't do much social media, but at the time I had a Facebook, and that's where the narcissist contacted me. And he also saw the one family member, or married into the family, no blood relation family member, who was on my Facebook. And in order to recruit others, he has to start with that one, right, that he finds. So this was a particular cousin I married into the family and raised by people who are actually my blood in the family. So this particular female, I mean, I thought I was kind to her. I thought we were getting along great. Wasn't somebody that I spent a lot of time with, but she did visit my home. You know, I attended her kids' birthdays. She was much younger than the narcissist and I, the stalker and I. And I feel like he contacted her first on my Facebook because she would have a direct connection to other people in the family, and that's who the narcissist could find at the time. So this particular family member, you know, I think she was a beautiful girl and had good things going for herself, but I feel like the narcissist picked her brain and found her vulnerabilities and found out that she's impressionable, maybe was a little, you know, inspired by the way I live my life and my family, and was trying to emulate that as I saw myself, but didn't think anything of it. But he did contact her, and they created a friendship. Now, the narcissist will create a soul tie with people and get into your head and find out where your weaknesses are in order to use you against a target, which is me. So he found that, you know, basically the tactic that he's used the most, I found, is competitiveness. And he brings out the competition in people, and that's created in such a way where you who are being used and being competitive or being angered, you can't detect it and don't realize it's happening. It's a slow process that he dog walks people into. So, for example, if he found that this particular female was inspired, he'll take that inspiration and turn it into hate or competition, or the target, myself, I think I'm better, and or you're better than her and you can do better than her. And this is the way he is setting you up for assignments. But he builds the soul tie first, finds out where your wounds are, and using your wounds in this hidden backwards way against you, he sets you up to believe that you're his new found best friend. He calls everybody his new friend, his new best friend. And, you know, if you're a younger female and you're impressionable and you're still finding yourself and, you know, stuck in that 3D portion of your life, you are easy to be pulled into his agenda and his plan. And he tends to take advantage of younger people. But it doesn't matter the age, because even psychologists, therapists, authorities can be fooled by a narcissist. It's practiced so well within them. So I started experiencing strange things with family. As I said in my first video, just things around my home. My car was crashed in this timeline, and the narcissist tried to make me believe online in a hidden way from others that it was a female cousin and a male cousin in the family. And when I visited these family members, they were gaslighting me, doing strange things. Now, this is something they will deny. Again, I give grace to people who are manipulated, whether or not I want these people back in my life. You know, that's something that I don't know about, and the universe handles that. I just stay to myself regardless. But now, around that time was the time that the narcissist contacted me, and over here in 2004 is when I met my son. As you remember in the first video, he was born due to being essayed as a child from 4 to 11 years old. And this is when he started to convince the family that I lied about what happened to me as a child, that I was probably just this narcissist predator assayer over here's wife, told people I was his child bride and his wife, and that I lied about what happened, and that I was just probably promiscuous. And here I am, 4 to 11 years old. That's the mindset that the narcissist would have. I struggled at that time in my life, being forced into things. So the narcissist angered people with that thought, because many people already knew, as my own mother told people in the family what happened. And even she lied about a few things, but did tell the truth as to who this was and how old I was. Now, my son, meeting him here in 2004, it was a few years before here in 2005 to 2011 when I reconnected with the narcissist. The narcissist found out about meeting my son, and we're getting to know each other. We're trying to connect and bond. There's certain family here who were contacted by the narcissist, and then the narcissist recruited family members. And my son, being only 23 years old, was impressionable himself, didn't know my heart yet, didn't know my spirit. And they would, instead of allowing my son and I to come together and get to know each other, some of these people like to party and have a good time. And so he was attracted to that and winded up hanging out with some of the people here. And when my son would visit, they would text and call him and pull him out of the home, and I just wanted to chill and get to know him, maybe go for a movie, dinner, and bond and things of that sort. So the narcissist, having this female under his thumb over here, and may have utilized her in some way, because at that time she was helping my son put together his Facebook page, and she was a little savvy at things. And so my son would spend more time over here, and slowly what happened was he started acting a little strange, and it didn't feel the same. Maybe a little annoyed with me for no reason. I think people were putting a lot of things into his head here. And at that time as well, they were possibly, it turned from one person to 2 to 3 to 4 in a little clique in the family who started to think negatively of me, and they were being manipulated against me. Also, this is around the time when the narcissist was using reactive abuse. Reactive abuse is when people are doing strange things to you and you go home and you're reacting or defending yourself or complaining because everything was fine, and you're hoping, you know, family sticks together. But it wasn't really too close or visit these people too much, but everything was fine. It was a here and there thing. So the narcissist wants to see you squirm, trying to put out fires, and knowing I wanted to connect with my son. So that, I guess he thought that was a huge blow to me, but and it was disheartening, but I pushed through things. I alchemize, I transmute, and at that time I was reacting, not understanding that he was using reactive abuse. So he would make you react through other people, and he had my phone compromised, and he uses that proof to show to family, friends, whoever. And these people, because most of them are 3D based, they don't connect that you're gaslighting me, you're trying to mentally and emotionally hurt me. So they don't connect that what they just did is what I'm reacting to. So the same grace that I give, others don't give to me. So it took me a while to figure out that reactive abuse was used all the way up to maybe here in this timeline, which was down like maybe 2015 is when I started to pick up on the reactive abuse. So at this time here was when there was supposedly maybe a cop involved, that's in the family, where I was being followed. As I mentioned in the first video, I reported it, and where I reported it to is supposed to help people who are targeted by authoritative figures, and they didn't put into the report that I was followed or that I was stopped by another authoritative title person, and stopped for running 2 red lights that I never ran. And that was meant to taunt me. So these are things you can't prove, and they never put on the report that I was followed. They just put there on the report that I believe I was being harassed online by family, and that was it. So certain things were left out of the report. So kind of give you an idea how a narcissist creates a ambushing, a gang stalking. He likes to have a bunch of people at the same time, or singly, but most of the time it's like a gang stalking. This is supposed to freeze you in place and have you doubt yourself and feel boxed in. So some of the things that I was receiving early on in this timeline was different text. As you see here, now that just has the initial A. Now there's a member in the family with the initial A. Here it says, "Are you available?" Now these texts were all sent at the same time, so I was ambushed with this. Here it says a different number, "Nice ass." Here it says, "Hey, how are you? What you doing? Hey, sassy, how you doing, cutie? Hey, sassy, you around for a good time?" So these are, now they could have been using generated numbers, or, so these were all around the same time. So there's quite a few of them. Then here is a text from a friend where it says, "Hi, Denise. I talked to some people who I work for who suggested you should call the DA's office criminal complaint division. They will let you know if you have grounds to file a criminal complaint. Here's the number." And I said, "Thank you. I appreciate it. I will let you know how I'll make out." And she says, "No problem. I hope they can help." Okay, so that's in this timeline. I'm just going over a few bullet points, but there was quite a bit here, and some of it I explained in the first video. Now in this timeline here, Again, as I met my son in the earlier timeline in 2004, I lived in that home from 1998 to 2005. Then I moved here 2005. Within that time, I feel like my son was pitted against me, even though we tried to hang on. Soon after that, we missed like 10 years of our relationship and connecting where there was no contact. It was made too uncomfortable with the narcissist being involved. Now, at this timeline here, that particular female cousin who was contacted first told me she had a crush on my son and how she'll wind up marrying him one day. And then on top of that, you have the narcissist filling this person's head up with attention and different lies and creating this huge competition, and didn't know I was in this competition. Now, if you see this, this is a Mother's Day certificate. Now, this certificate followed me a few Mother's Day, whether it be online or I received it in the mail with no return address. So it's an anti-Mother's Day certificate. Now, this does not sound like my son. It does sound like the narcissist. I'm very aware of how he speaks, the words that he tends to use. So it says, an anti-Mother's Day certificate of greeting. It says, yes, someone or something had to be my mother. The fact that you may happen to be my mother makes little and no difference to me. Thanks to you in part, I do exist. It's a shame that you're still alive, because I fear I may still owe you something to this annual merchandising occasion and holy day. I actually purchased a certificate of greeting in your honor. Please don't cry, bitch, whine, nag, or shrill. Belch or shrill. It's much more your true character. If there really is a hell, I'm already in it. I've been there, thanks to you. May the nematodes that eat dead dogs' eyes come to you in your dreams and hollow your inner mass. May they spare your excess body fat as your one true monument. Please don't call or write me. Disintegrate now if you can. Okay. Now, in the beginning, being as though my son was made upset with me, or thought I was a particular type of person, I wasn't sure in the beginning whether this was him or not, but at the same time, I can't see him go to this length. But this does sound like the verbiage that the narcissist would use. I mean, very much so. So a lot of like just taunting and harassment online, using my childhood. The narcissist likes to use people's wounds against them. And once you're healed, that's not a place that you can revisit. Even if you try, it may be something on the back of your mind. Healing is exactly what it is. You're healed. And the narcissist will try to re-wound you, cut you in the soul in order to weaken you and place you in a low frequency for better use later. So again, if you see here things I would find online to follow me, it says, are you daddy's little girl? In other words, teasing me due to the essays that I received as a child from 4 to 11. Now, my husband's name is Or, and here you see it says on his shoulder, or don't mean shit, taunting my husband. Here's stuff about OJ and unaliving a couple. Here is things that would follow me and placed on a particular page that he created to taunt me. It says, teach your daughter to shoot because the restraint order is just a piece of paper. I would receive a lot of sexual things like this. I had to put my finger there to cover her private parts, but in what I was seeing and receiving, it didn't have the private parts covered, if you can imagine. Um, Things like this, where it says, "Good morning, I see my assassins have failed." And that was pertaining to when I had my car crashed in this timeline here in 2011 and on. Here it says, "It's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled." And this is when I was running around in the beginning trying to put out the fires that he kept creating. Narcissists want to see you cry and crawl and then tease you afterwards. So I was trying to educate my family, but it's kind of hard to educate people who aren't actively listening or savvy on what narcissism is. Now, I would see things often like this here, where it's a little girl and it says stupid, ugly, loser, freak, not enough, SLUT word, fake, bitch, attention, whore, and anything that is the opposite of who I am, the narcissist is consistently bombarding people's minds with. And if you know anything deeper about the mind is just a recorder. It records information that you learned and are conditioned into following in the world. It's been known and studied that we actually think from our gut. The spirit is actually speaking as well, but we're trained and conditioned to follow the mind, which is why the narcissist has to, jog your mind in order to find the different chambers of your identity and works through the mind. He doesn't work through the spirit. Now, most spiritual people work through the spirit, and that's how they help you heal. They don't go through the conditioned mind, knowing that is harder to penetrate than it is if you self-reflect and get to know yourself. But that takes coming out of the matrix and working on that and discovering what the difference is within that duality. Now, the narcissist likes to make me feel unknown. It says here, unknown girl. Because in his mind, the destiny swapping would involve erasing you from everyone and distort who you are so you can't live out your true self. Things like this. Now, this was pertaining to, at that time, I was attending a church and trying to find answers and healing, and realize that church for me, alone, if others attend church, I think that's great if it's working for you, but church to me is just more of rituals and conditioning for myself, and found that church is in my heart, and spirituality, is where I found my true home is. So here it says, "Let's go, Rob. We're going to be late for the lecture." And that was pertaining to the fact that I wanted to talk to the pastors and kind of give them a little bit of insight as to how narcissists operate. Again, if you could be the smartest person on the planet and a narcissist could still manipulate you, it's well practiced. You perfect what you practice. So he's done this many times before. Now, trying to explain this to people who don't listen actively, especially if they're on that other side of this matrix, you're going to have a hard time and find yourself spinning your wheels. So sometimes you just have to detach and kind of go within and choose yourself. Again, a lot of things with children, adults in diapers and in compromising positions. When I was attending the church, it says, just laughing my ass off here, and it's you can see what that is there. So this one here is now this was all happening online in real time, every incident will have a rebuttal online to tease me about it. So it says now that she knows you saw her, she knows to unalive you. So that was pertaining to the fact that when I lived here on this timeline here in 2017 to 2020, again, he likes to create a mobbing and a gang stalking. So a lot of times, more so than not, it's a group of people in order to push that shock value to silence you and make you constantly in fear. What happened with that, what that's pertaining to, is the fact that a bunch of people were knocking at my door here when I lived in these apartments here in that timeline. And they were pretending to be looking for a party that was actually supposedly around the corner, but they were saying they had the wrong address. And a particular female gave me a strange look because I happened to open the door at one point when I felt it was safer. And within an hour, that was posted about now that she knows what you look like, she knows who to unalive. Things like this. Now, it could be that another family member was manipulated into creating a page to taunt me and stalk me online, because this is a person that really didn't go out much. So for the particular people who I think it would be, but it could very well be, most of the time it is the narcissist himself and implicating other people. If he has me compromised, he may have other people compromised, and he uses both parties' information or current events or anything that's being said or done, and finds a way to intertwine things to cause problems. It says here, if you're agitated and confused, then my job here is done. This is pertaining to my daughter's locker. He had my daughter's phone compromised and was pitting her friends against her as well, as I mentioned in this timeline here, when she was in high school, I believe it was. It says, if God loves me, why can't I get my locker open? And what that was pertaining to was my daughter came home one day and she was complaining about not being able to open her locker, and how it turned out to be a big thing that she couldn't get her books out and having to go to the office. And it's, typical high school problems. But that's why that was posted, to let me know that they were listening on her phone. This here is a picture of a mother and daughter, and as you see is a son holding his mom's boobs. It says, I love my mom. This is when the narcissist was trying to humiliate and embarrass my son against each other, and had forwarded him in this timeline, possibly in this timeline, forwarded people a video of my breast that he obtained. Now, he also took pictures off my Facebook, hacked my computer. I got a bunch of corn that was a virus on my computer. Had to completely throw that out. This is a picture I have of a truck that was following me. I've been followed several times. So that's to give you an idea of that timeline. I'm going to move forward over here. Now, if you remember in my first video, in this timeline here at these apartments, I told you I had a neighbor upstairs who was dripping a chemical onto my garden with my flowers in the garden and on the steps. I try to keep record of things, and I'm going to try to, if you see this here, that's hard to see, maybe that's better, where you see those stains on the steps, that's the chemicals that I couldn't get up off the ground. I also mentioned how my car was crashed, and there were two men at Wawa's who ran to the corner to get the license plate because it looked deliberate, and they were going down a one-way street. As you see here, these two men here are looking down a one-way street. And I don't know what this guy's looking here, but it was weird. I don't know if he was following me to see if it worked or something was done that was supposed to be done, or if that's just a random stranger who was looking at the accident. But as you see, I was telling you the truth, those are the two guys who are looking down that one-way street. And then there was the damage to my Murano. You see the whole hatchback was dented in. Now, the narcissist is a psychological abuser. So here in this timeline, the maintenance men were gaslighting, possibly had cameras in there. The mailman smearing my daughter in Christian school. So the maintenance men were told to do different things. I don't know if they were paid, but they were told to leave things behind. And there was a particular area in the common area of the complex where people would go and read a book outside of their apartments, and people would gather there. Well, I would go to that area often to either read, listen to music, kind of get out of the apartment and just talk to other people and things of that sort. So what the narcissist was telling the the maintenance men were giving them information. The maintenance men was giving the narcissist information as to the details of the things I do, and being as though I sat out there, they found that to be something that I would do on a particular day on a regular basis. So he instructed these maintenance men to put kisses, the chocolate. Now, mind you, the narcissist is African American, so they were supposed to be chocolate kisses. As you see there, you see the chocolate kisses on the table. Again, if you see in the background the rug, that was a common area where I would sit quite often, and that was a table that I often sat there to put my books and things like that. Also, at one point, this car here, the narcissist showed, that car there was a picture that I took of, I was just getting home and I passed that car, and I believe the narcissist was sitting in the car with a Jeff hat on trying to disguise himself. And I called the police and put a report in. Now, he doesn't live here, he lives in another state, but I believe he, at that time, it was definitely him. At that time, he came into the area because I moved, and I guess this person wanted to see something or had someone, maybe, I don't know, maybe a brother or something. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was him. Also, again, different tactics are used within this stalking. The maintenance men I was talking about in this timeline, something had to be in my home watching me. Maybe these maintenance men got in when I was at work or out for the day. If you're being stalked and your phone is compromised and people are reporting things, then they will come to an understanding of your daily routine. So at this point, I don't know how these people knew that I was taking a nap, or when I took a nap, or when I was in the bedroom, but I'm going to play a video for you where every time I was in the bedroom taking a nap or about to lay down, one of the maintenance men, it was definitely his voice and definitely him, would always choose the exact window where I took my naps. So he would say strange things, like in this video, you'll hear him say, "She looks good," meaning he can see me and wanted me to be afraid that I'm being watched because I kept my blinds closed when I'm taking a nap. So you'll hear him here, and he did it quite a few times. I only got to record 2 of them, so if you take a listen here. Now, this is the second time that he did the same thing and knew I was in the bedroom. As you see, that's me sitting right here. Sorry, it's taking a second for it to show up, but I wanted you to hear it. Now in this video here, what you're gonna see is someone breaking into my backyard. Tried to get in the car, they couldn't get in there, so what they did was leave notes by my door. And I have those actual notes today, and that was quite a while ago. So I'm gonna play that video. You'll see him walk up, and it takes him a minute to actually get the chain off the gate. Now what you'll see is a guy walk up. Now he's at the gate. He's right here. It's kind of hard to see, but hopefully you can see that there's a figure behind the gate there in the center. Right here. He's taking the time to get through the gate. Still working the gate. Or did he get in? No, he actually got in. You may have to zoom in to see that. And then he leaves quickly to your left. Now, I could see that better on my end. Hopefully you could. So in this video, it takes a little bit of explaining. I'll try not to take too long, but at one point in the very beginning, the narcissist heard me say I was going to create a channel to help other people who were experiencing these types of things, and also to give back and talk about things that we can heal from and transmute, and how to apply alchemy into your life to heal. So the narcissist likes to beat me to everything. He likes to one-up me in everything, or say that it was his idea. And considering that others don't know that I'm being compromised, they have no idea that that he actually steals my words of wisdom, my ideas, takes on my character, destiny swaps, and sometimes this being a male is a little creepy, but here he would compromise my phone, and I would talk to someone and share words of wisdom or ideas, and this is something that I enjoy doing, and helping others, or just basically, you know, talking privately in my home with someone. And I tend to use a lot of words of wisdom. So he would tell his wife the things that I'm saying. Now, I'm not sure if she was aware that he was giving her ideas, and he had her start a channel, and a lot of things that she was saying in the channel were pertaining to things in my life, whether it be words of wisdom or taking my idea or things that I say or do and twisting them or using certain words verbatim, spiritual ideas, words of wisdom, just things that would help the public. And that he would give those ideas to his wife. And what happened with that was that her channel took off and she financially was now gaining from that. The narcissist tried to create a channel with my ideas, and what he would do with his channel is every time he would have someone gaslight me, stalk me, or do something, he would go back to his channel and pretend that what he just did to me was being done to him. Mind you, I'm trying to get away from this person and detach and try to keep it together. I think I've done a pretty good job of that, but it was so disorienting how he would twist everything, and then others would think that I was doing something that I wasn't doing. So in this video, he's upset. His wife, I believe, divorced him, and her channel continued on, and it does pretty well, and his didn't, where he had to delete a lot of videos. People were complaining that he was re-victimizing women or people and pretending to be a 2-degree psychologist. I don't know if somebody got a whiff of that and something was done with that. Not sure what happened, but here you'll see him say that he went 40 years professionally with something, and that was a lie. But again, I'm not intertwining his life and don't know the details, but from what I know from my perspective and what I've known through the years, it's like, how do you know? Because you're being stalked by this person and you're seeing the daily pattern, things that others say that new people are not aware of. So years of service. In this video, it says deleted all videos, especially when YouTube is paying the wrong people. And the reason he's saying that, it's always about money. He's upset that his ex-wife continued on to make to financially gain due to him due to it being his idea to create a channel to steal my ideas. So then his channel didn't do so well and hers did. And I found that very ironic, how that is a Godsmack, where you had this woman create this channel to call me the narcissist. Most narcissists will flip the script and call you the narcissist, even though you're not doing anything at all. And even if it were someone else, he would blame it on me or overthink and very paranoid. Let's say 2 other people were disagreeing online, and someone said something and he didn't see both sides. He would apply it to himself as though I'm saying something, and yet I'm trying to... I'm sorry, this video keeps going off. So you get the idea. I don't want to make this video too long. So you'll see here where he complains about someone else making money and how he went 40 years. So he's pretty much trying to say, everybody can see that her channel took off and mine's didn't, and it was my idea in the first place. So he's pretty much actually telling you how this idea to create videos with my words of wisdom, and due to the stalking and twist it in a backwards way, he's pretty much admitting, if you know the details, he's pretty much admitting what he did, and hear how someone else is making money off of his idea, trying to steal my idea. Hopefully that makes sense. And as you see the title here, so
40 years of service. I went 40 years. I started early professionally. So I'm like this. I don't care what y'all do. I'm ready to go. If this is my last week, if this is my last day, my last 24 hours, I'm ready, okay? I don't care anymore.
So that's him being upset due to a money situation that he wasn't making well from. Now, in this next video is someone that he recruited to show up at my husband at the time's job. And he showed up with, at first acting like a customer, and then started getting a little strange, asking weird questions, trying to start a fight. And when he left that place, he, I'm sorry. My video cut, my camera cut off, so this is a continuation. The narcissist recruits people and angers them in various ways. So with this particular person, not sure what he told him in order to anger him to show up at my ex-husband's job. And he acted like a customer, started acting strange, and then it turned into insulting people. And later on, he actually either pulled out a knife or something, trying to scare people. But then later, he went outside and he recorded himself live on Facebook. And the police were alerted quick enough where they found him on Facebook and recognized the background and winded catching this guy in real time. Now, I believe he served some time or something like that. But this is how other people are implicated in things, lied to and manipulated. And the narcissist did not help this person afterwards. So he'll use you and discard you afterwards. So this is just a video that I kept.
Poke your fucking face. So now I'm exposing y'all niggas and I got a bomb on me, you hear me? A fucking money clip bomb on me. If you want that work in the streets, we can do it this way. If anybody want that work in the gym, we can throw the fucking gloves on. Either way, let me know. I will forever be a bitch. Or you can send somebody with me that you think you want to fight. If we're in a different weight class, I weigh 217. I weigh 217. That motherfucker husky, ain't it? Let's get it. Let me show you a little trick, just in case you niggas try to fight me dirty. Look at a little trick. Look what that bitch turned into. So which one of you niggas would try to boom, boom, stab your man in his fucking throat, you hear me? And that shit street legal, you bitch. We get it confused.
Now, after this timeline, now that I've showed you a few things, I could go on after 16 years. Moving on to the townhomes here, this was after 2020. I experienced several things here, getting into my mail, recruiting the mailman, the neighbors being recruited to gaslight me, scratch my car, say certain things, just give you a hard time. We were there a short while, maybe about 2 years, and we're down here to the present, or the recent present, starting in 2023, actually 22. The job compromise, co-workers being recruited, store merchandise being broken, moving things and then bringing them back like a week later. A certain woman and also neighbors surveillancing and watching, reporting things, taking pictures and videos. Now here, when I started this new job, it was a particular female who was recruited. And I do believe this is a woman who, again, I give grace to people on their journey and believe that we all have had insecurities. Some people just don't know better when they're being used due to either insecurities, wounds, loneliness, whatever it may be. But it started with one particular woman in the office, and it grew to at least maybe 8 people at the job, and they tried to recruit others. The narcissist was not satisfied because he couldn't get to 200 people. 200 vendors that were in this particular building. So he starts off small. And this was the place where I lasted a little longer because I already understood the pattern everywhere else and learned how to navigate it and felt that I was alchemizing things better. Within that year, I met my twin flame. Everything was fine for a year. I was, I guess, venting or trusting my twin flame and telling him things that were going on. I was texting him. The flame didn't text much in the beginning, but he did return text. When I passed by him, I would leave my phone in my store location, and we would have a few conversation, and I felt like he understood. And he would say things like, and nobody's helping you. Oh my God, her too. She's involved too. And in the beginning, he was kind of seemed a little concerned, maybe a little protective as well, as I felt. But that soon changed because the narcissist was paying attention to text and realizing the connection that we were having and developing. So before people found out about the twin flame, there was a couple women and a few men, even security, who were doing strange things and talking to the narcissist. They were doing street theater, kind of repeating things that the narcissist is telling them about me, saying I was a bad mom, that I shoot up, that I like to party to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't take care of my kids. I don't take care of my home. I'm a bad wife. Just anything to make me look like a pretty raunchy female. So in the beginning, I was already experiencing things with other recruited co-workers. But then when people got a whiff of the whole connection with the twin flame, a year later, the karmic had came in around that time, and she asked him if he was married. And at that time, the flame was contacted by the narcissist due to him coming into that awareness that I had this connection. And knowing that it's a twin flame is something that's a little more soul-based and a little more, I guess, special, I guess you would say, a little different. That bothered the narcissist because twin flames at a soul level, regardless of what's happening in the 3D, the soul knowing has this unconditional connection, this unconditional love to the soul. And the whole reason for the twin flame connection is growth and coming into an understanding that once you love yourself and you align your mind and heart, you can align with the other half, your other twin flame. This is why sometimes we marry each other, and one of the reasons why I keep it together and continue to grow and heal and stay positive and know my assignment. I basically already know my assignment. So the twin flame met the karmic. He and the karmic started talking, and considering that the narcissist had convinced the twin flame I was such a bad person, he started acting strange. And as I said in my first video, I felt like he was a bit conflicted, where his mind and soul were battling each other. His soul knows, but his mind is being compromised by other people, which is the whole point of the narcissist trying to get into your head in order for you to lead with the mind and not the spirit. So I think the universe is teaching the twin flame something about that, a little bit about that duality and how to navigate that. The karmic, not so much. I think she's in her own thing and connected with the twin flame. The twin flame found her to be a listening ear because he was already going through the dark night of the soul and maybe things at home, not understanding more about the twin flame thing. It makes you feel all sorts of different things that you don't understand. And then on top of that, the narcissist is in your ear, telling him a bunch of negative things about me. So he was truly having an inner battle. But I never, if he did things behind my back, he may have done some things kind of indirect, thinking I was someone else, but not bad enough where I felt like the twin flame was stalking or doing anything negative that I could see, but maybe there were things in the background and things that I know that I won't disclose here. But at the same time, it felt like it got worse where he saw me a certain way, but still hanging on by a thread. It's strange, but at the same time, I understand it and what he was battling. I think he was, if people, those of you who believe in spells, I feel like he was placed under something, and then you have your co-workers who are recruited and knows about the connection, and then is pushing the karmic towards him and him towards the karmic, and made her appear like she was the right person to connect with. I was the wrong person. So you got co-workers, you have the narcissist, possibly family. The narcissist will talk to people behind your back and manipulate them, and everybody will keep that from the twin flame, just the same way they do to me, where everybody's talking and meeting up and plotting and you are not aware of it. But me being high ranking as far as my spirituality and the things I know, don't know how I know them, these things come to me quick. I already knew how to navigate around that and what was happening, and I had alerted the twin flame and warned him about that. I told him within a few months he was going to go through the dark night of the soul. I also explained that we are going to experience many distractions. He has to stay focused. The narcissist knows that I try to educate the flame, and it becomes spiritual warfare, spiritual battle, angels against demons, where the narcissist, knowing that I'm educating and helping the flame along this journey, wanted to win at all costs and had everyone helping him basically in this unaware, undetected way to turn the flame away from me and towards the karmic, or even if not the karmic, just completely away from me. So she may have been recruited into that and he may not know it. That's just the way I see it. I could be wrong. So that's where it ended. And because I left the job, they saw it as a win, because there were coworkers who were already helping the narcissist to give me a hard time. I think some of the coworkers didn't understand that this was meant for me to leave because they couldn't fire me. This is a place that you can be let go if you do something wrong, but all the things that they tried to do to make me react or get into trouble or having to call the police didn't work, because I already knew what was happening. So there was one point where the narcissist or the karmic got into an argument with a few people who had to leave that location because she gave them a hard time for a couple weekends. They thought that I had people watching the karmic, but I did not. That's something that the narcissist started pushing the idea of, so I could look like I was jealous and she wasn't. When the twin flame started talking to the karmic, I walked away. I didn't argue about it. I did say, you should have told me. I would have stopped texting you certain things if I knew you were connecting with someone else. Now, he calls it them being friends. A lot of times, male and females, I believe males and females can be friends, but a lot of times it turns into something, especially if there's an agenda. So the flame not being too aware of all angles, and it was hard for me to talk to him because the narcissist told him not to talk to me. He tells several people not to talk to me because the devil's in the details. And if anyone aligns with me, I help people come to an understanding very quickly and help them heal or help them see the duality of things. And the narcissist didn't want that, because if you awaken, if you heal, if you understand the illusion, you can better navigate, and it's harder for the narcissist to get into your head. So, and at times I tend to think to myself that you have a karmic woman who got her heart involved, may have had an agenda, but now you have three people in a situation whose hearts are involved. But I try not to attach too much because I place no expectancy on things, even though I had a lot of love for the twin flame. I try to heal my heart and hope for the best, and I believe in the universe is going to work things out the way it should be. And I try to stay focused and think about that angle of things. So where we are now is that I'm being smeared online. This is something I don't see, something I don't look for. My guides help me from that, and I don't even try to find this. What's the point? I mean, normally people say take it if it resonates. It doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't describe who I am. So why should I say anything or defend something that I'm not? So I don't know if a lot of these people are being paid or they actually believe that I'm a bad person. And a lot of things have been, false things have been presented to make it appear that way, because he does manipulate a lot of people at the same time. And I notice it's another gang, another ambush of many people, because not too long ago I did expose a little bit of what was going on, and I think that the narcissist alerted other people. He got scared. Now other people are scared, maybe the twin flame and the karmic as well. I don't set out to revenge people, attack people, but enough is enough, and I think I need justice. So I'm trying to do what I can to receive that justice. And if there's any type of money that was stolen, or if it's just an illusion or anything that belongs to me, I think people should do the right thing, and I'll look further into that. But that would explain, in a way, that's just one idea, would explain why people are now afraid, because money is people are trying to scam money, or people are trying to keep money, or people are trying to wiggle their way out of their parts to this when they start discovering the truth of the whole manipulation, the whole illusion that has been created in order to keep me trapped, isolated, or in fear, or feed off my energy. Now, if you take notice to this whole situation, it is spiritual warfare that people don't know they're in. I, for one, for many years, even as a child, understood all of this up here in this timeline. My ascension started very early, and I believe you're born a chosen one. So it's easier for me to navigate. Doesn't mean that I don't feel pain. It doesn't mean that I not human, and you know, people either see you one way or the other. For example, when you're a chosen one, people think you're naive because you have a certain innocence that you keep, and that innocence does not mean childlike or that you're unintelligent. That particular innocence that people see, that they think they can take advantage of, that's really the God in you. That's, you would think that after my innocence being taken up here, that I would grow bitter, which is something the narcissist and these entities try to do, is make you a bitter person, an angry person. If you revenge them, these entities, you become the very monster that you're fighting against, which is the whole idea, is to destiny swap and make you into an angry, negative, dark person and keep you down. Chosen ones are already equipped to go the other direction. So these people had no idea who I was. I don't think I'm special, but I am different. Now, in a perfect world, you would have some of these people just talk to you honestly, maybe ask questions, and align with you in order to pour in each other's cup, take care of each other, heal each other, love each other, and just have a good time. But I feel like a lot of people in the matrix in the 3D are so addicted to chaos that this is the default setting and it's normal to them. When they start to see the duality and start to hear the truth, I feel like people are going within and understanding that there is a difference. So where we are today is I'm well. It could get a little exhausting sometimes, but I tend to alchemize that as well. I just want to move forward. If none of these people want to approach me in a honest, give and take, loving way, like I don't feel the need to reconnect with any of these people. Besides my son, if he wants to be honest and actually heal whatever it is that the narcissist used about him. Maybe he's still dealing with something, you know, being born due to my situation. I don't think he should worry, but also have to give grace to the fact that people heal in different ways, and maybe they hide it, or maybe he was just simply manipulated and healed himself. I'm not sure, but I do have a lot of love for the twin flame. It's something that I've tried to not have, but I don't mind the fact that it's a rare thing and I was chosen for it. So with that in itself, it's a rare thing and that is special to me. I wish it turned out differently. I do appreciate if he's saying positive things and he can actually see who I am. Because we have that soul connection, it would be easier for him than other people. As far as him, the karmic, I do believe the twin flame may be living with a female, and this was someone else. I'm not sure if he lived with this new person. I don't really pay too much attention to it. He doesn't disclose much, and had he told me the truth from the beginning, I would have worked with him, because I always find the light in the dark anyway, and understand and give grace to the fact that he has a person. When I met him, twin flames usually meet when they're already in relationships. And normally it's when you're in a transitioning where your heart, your soul manifested this for a reason. And even if it's just friendship, we heal each other and understand each other and feel comfortable when we're in the same room. And it's really... it's fascinating how it works, because everything else goes away when we're in the same room. This 3D thing, this chaos, it's there and you have to address it. But to the soul, it doesn't exist. The soul doesn't understand a title of boyfriend and girlfriend or marriage or karmic or soulmates. It doesn't even understand twin flame. The soul just understands the soul connection. It's not concerned whether you're male, female, rich or poor, or your race or your titles. The soul does not have a recognition of identity and what comes with it. So it's just a powerful being. It's not a being, but a powerful force that knows and gets rid of all of this and everything else in the world that's negative, or titles and what we in the flesh identify with or yearn for. This is why there is a soul recognition. This is why there is a soul connection, and you can't get rid of it. If people understood twin flames and did their homework, this is going to happen many lifetimes, and it's happened before. Maybe this narcissist, you know, stole my empire in the past. You know, the karmic has her role, and that was supposed to happen. Who knows how this goes? But I definitely know that everything has its place, its reason, and how the universe works, and it's about all these people growing and healing and maybe coming into a better understanding of themselves or the situation, or why they were used. Were they used due to wounds? Were they used due to I don't know a few of these people who may be online, or who they are. Maybe I do know them. I just don't look into it. So at the end of the day, I just live my life and do what I have to do. Whatever is for me is for me. Again, I give grace to people who were bamboozled. So, and at the same time, it does show me where you are and who you are. And I know who I can give grace to or allow a high and by in my life. I do keep my guard up now for everyone, or not at all, whether they're in my life at all. It can be hurtful, because a lot of people you help along the way, a lot of people you treated well, a lot of people you believed in and you supported their goals and dreams. And yet when it comes to me, I didn't receive the same in return. I feel like a lot of people walk in a fog and in the matrix, and they don't even realize what they're doing. But I haven't done anything to any of these people. The karmic argued with me one time about an argument she had with the twin flame, something he said to her and she repeated to me. Um, After that an argument that the karmic had with other co-workers, and the narcissist telling people I was watching her, he was putting a battery in everyone's back and creating situations that didn't exist. I think the twin flame fell for that, and now he's putting the pieces together. That's part of healing and awakening as well, so that's a good thing. At one point, just to give you an idea, I don't know if it was the narcissist, twin flame, or the coworkers, something like that. But at one point, after this karmic argued with other people, she pulled me into it somehow. I had nothing to do with that. What was strange was that after a little bit, the narcissist realized that the karmic was looking bad arguing with people, and they kept trying to justify it. That she was reacting to somebody doing something to her, but yet no one was watching her, no one was doing anything. One woman said to her, you shouldn't be doing a particular thing that she was doing while under the influence. And that got her upset. And she thought everybody else, or 3 other people, including myself, were in on watching her and complaining about that, and judging her for that. And I had no idea what was going on. I wasn't even in that day, but she pulled me into that. But later what I found was that I believe it was the narcissist, because it sounds like his tactic, where they told her to dress like me and copy the way my business looks and the things that I do. Told her again to dress like me and to remain calm, or to be sovereign like I was throughout this whole thing. And at that same time, they sent other co-workers to do certain things to gaslight me, to get me to react in my store location. Like, I decorated for Christmas, and when I would go for lunch and put up my rope so nobody gets in, someone was taking my Christmas decorations and putting them on the floor, moving them around, just anything to upset me. Other tactics, coming and saying certain things, dropping my stuff on purpose. They were hoping that I get upset and start a fight, while they were telling the karmic to act sovereign and calm and dress like me. What was happening was, I'm not sure if it was the narcissist or the twin flame who was guiding her to steal my identity and to act like me, while they were trying to make me react so they can call the police and create a record on me and make me look like I was the bad person. I was the bad guy. I'm the problem. And she was now the new me, and the new, just basically destiny swapping who we were. Now, I don't know her in detail, the karmic. I feel like there was a bit of a temper there, but I guess if you are being manipulated by someone and believe that you're being, or that you're under attack, that you're actually not, or maybe she argued with one particular person and thought the whole place was against her. But the narcissist will take every situation and tweak it in such a way to make others look good, to save others, to support others, in order to gain likability. So he will target me, make me look like the bad guy, while taking the other female, most of the time is a female, and making her look good. And this is supposed to anger me and make him create a soul tie with the other person, because you're pretty much taking the bad from one and taking the good from one and giving that to the other, if that makes sense. So you're basically kind of saving them, and that creates a bond, a friendship, like, you save me from that, and you're supporting me, and it's false support, actually. So that's where we are. So when you think about all these people that the narcissist recruits, I mean, it's always a grouping of people. So I'm just showing you this here. Like, it's always grouping with the family, friends, jobs, you know. So what the narcissist does, just to end this video, is that he will So this timeline is gone, right? This timeline is done. This timeline's done. This timeline's done. And so is this one. What the narcissist will do will keep this timeline into play. Basically using these people as what I call residue support. This may have happened years ago, but he keeps them in the loop so that later when something happens here, he can still tie it to you and use these people here, or use these people here, or use these people here against you. So he keeps the friendships open in every timeline to use that residue support and to keep everyone micromanaged and still upset with you, making sure that you are not reconnecting. And he's actually told people before, you're not obligated to heal that relationship. You're not obligated to reconnect. You don't have to do that. And this is because he has the agenda of keeping you isolated and people never discovering the truth. Because if people are healed and do align with you again, they'll find out the details. And then that means that his created gang, his cult, is now would possibly be in your corner, and the idea is to keep people angry with you and isolated. So this is how he prevents you from getting anywhere. So so yeah, I don't know what else I could add. I will be making a future video, explaining the spiritual end of this, the more spiritual end, the duality of it, and what's actually going on and how to prevent yourself from being recruited into these things, just so you can implement a little more of awareness and how to tap into that, how to tap into possibly helping yourself be a little more aware or awaken, and maybe that will trigger a complete awakening where you're not able to be used by these type of entities. Basically, once you heal, these entities find it harder to get in, which is why they have to create all of this, because once you've healed from a lot and your ranking is way up there, these entities know where you are, which is why they have to recruit so many people up against one. It takes a lot to take you down. So this is why they also try to implement spell work. That's something I don't dabble in at all. I may use a little sage or Palo Santo here or there for protection, or carry certain crystals, but that is not considered magic. Even the natives use that, but some people who are very religious would think that that's still along the lines of the same thing. But dark magic, I don't feel the need to do, because I can alchemize pretty well. Now, if other people, there's no judgment here, but when you're doing it to hurt people, to unalive people, to get their money, steal their identity, steal their essence, their energy, and siphon, the devil isn't loyal to anyone. So anything that you put out there negative, you're basically saying to the devil, I signed a contract for you to attack me in the future. So it can return, and he knows now that you're in his corner, so he will throw another thing, and then it'll get worse, and then you have more problems. So pretty much doing the right thing without being this quote unquote Mother Teresa or perfect angel, which, chosen ones do things that other peoples do, just not negative ways of gaining things. It's not like we can't have a drink. It's not like we don't like to party or have a good time or have a mate that you're intimate with, or, have a good time. It's just done in a way where you're making good choices as you carry out any vices that you have that are on a more positive side. So I'm going to try to end it here. If I have anything else that I need to add later, I'll try and do that. But for the most part, thank you so much for listening. I know this video is long, and so was my first video, but we had to get through it. And if I remember anything or see anything or any new updates, I'll try to bring that awareness to people through my videos. And as I go along, all this messiness will get better, or, you know, I can take the time and try to work out a schedule and, you know, give back and help people with my situation. Thank you. Much love to those who have helped and supported, or even, again, given me one flower along the way. You're loved. Thank you.